Hopefully it's working properly this time, because this thing has been bugging out like crazy this morning, and I don't quite know why. So, anyway, let's go ahead and move on here. So basically, the way I've been doing this, I've been grinding it up a little bit since last time, as you would expect. So, got an anatomy up to 6 for denim, which basically means that, yeah, we can now continue on with the run. I was doing one quick run through Parampa here just to kind of test everything out, so we'll go ahead and do that. Hopefully it decides to stop being all buggy at some point during this whole thing. We'll see. Really hope all these little chops and delays aren't coming through. But what can you do? So yeah, let's see. Last time on level 1 run, I know we had just gotten Yunin, the Denim ate him. But the general idea at this point is that we're trying to figure out a way to get strengthened for everybody. We got access to Magus Marks. Didn't get Golems, though. Basically, Magus Marks were needed to get Golems in order to get strengthened and Fortify for people, since Fortify will basically take the place of all those various weapon skills that they're carrying around still. As you can see, he's got an anatomy up to rank 6, so he's already basically doing normal damage now. But again, that's just for now, and just against randos for the most part. See how much of a difference it makes. He used to have pretty similar stats, and still all the same. He's doing quite a bit more. I wish I knew why this thing was acting up so bad today. Like, it's just stuttering non-stop on my end. In the past, it really hasn't carried over video-wise, so hopefully it's not stuttering. And, well, I guess we'll just have a mysteriously missing part if it is. Which, actually, no, I have a backup of the save, so whatever happens, you know. If it's horribly stuttery, we'll just redo it. But, oh well. There's a very, as you'd expect, you know, there's a rare opportunity to actually do something today, so that's what we're doing. Now, as before, every trip through Parampa generally is just kind of paid for in piles of blessing stones, since everyone has to get repeatedly revived. It's a little bit of an annoyance, but what can you do? Yeah, he can actually do punch damage. How about that? Which I guess in this case anything would have done, but hey, he did extra damage. But at this point, Denim's stats and everything else are honestly good enough that he can take on most things in the game right now. Like, despite the fact that he's still level 1, his base stats are high enough that his finishers can scale up to the point of being a threat to most stuff. So what I'm hoping to do well, there's a lot less time than I was hoping there would be at this point. But what I'm hoping to do is get this up to Chapter 4. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, normally the grinding route for quite a while was just to go through all of Parampa here, get to the very end, get to the meat grinding map, and then essentially just do that map over and over. So here we are. And yeah, for anyone who didn't know, if you wanted access to a whole bunch of early stuff, then this is one of these things that I was kind of surprised got disputed a few times, considering it's kind of easy to find. But yeah, in Parampa here, there is a ton of stuff that you can get a hold of just taking the right path. So you can get a hold of ninja stuff. You can get rid of, or you can get a hold of most of the stuff that they use. You can get access to Swordmasters and all the stuff they use. You can get access. Right, I don't actually know if that's going to be a direct shot. Yeah, this is a weird one. See, I want to drop the finisher on him here. I don't know if it'll block off the terrain or not. I think this should be a safe shot. I think I might just go Dark Weight just to be safe. But yeah, Death Whale is one of those few things that actually does get blocked by the terrain. For whatever reason. So there we go. It's probably because they had to balance it against something. Like, it would have been nice if Trajectory still worked for those kinds of abilities, but, you know, of course it doesn't. It's like a lot of the times you'd actually need Trajectory to work in the game, it just doesn't. Like, it's still funny that every caster gets access to Trajectory, they can learn it, but they can't really make any use of it. Unless you really, really want them to snipe with throwing rocks, I guess? Now, out of curiosity, to the one guy that just showed up, if you could please let me know, is it stuttering? Like, is it stuttering on your end, or is that strictly on mine? Unfortunately, there's just no way for me to know for sure. So we're gonna get Evan up so that you can get the other guy up. We should get the last guy up, and as I said before, we're just paying through our way through the woods here in Blessing Stones, as we usually do. Simply because we don't really have the defense to do it any other way. They might be saying, hey, why are we doing emulator instead of sticking with recording off Vita like before? And, well, I tried doing the Vita right before this. Unfortunately, that too was having issues. For whatever reason, it kept having screen tearing all over the place. And normally I wouldn't care that much if it's pretty minor, but it was pretty much like ripping the screen in half, I'm not sure why. Hang on one quick second. Alright, and back to it then. Yeah, the kiddos are still trying to get up earlier and earlier and earlier every day. It's always an adventure with them too. I wish I knew if this was as steady as it is on my end. Alright, there's another card. Have to get them up. So I'm just checking my settings real quick to see if maybe something's happening there. But I think it's just random. But yeah, no. Every day it's just earlier and earlier. I'd gotten up at 4 to make my wife breakfast and all that, and sure enough, turn around, he's just right there. Good morning! No, it is definitely still night time. You are going right back to bed, sir. And so it's been. And this year needs to be done and over with already. Everything's going all bizarrely haywire. Kiddos are all worried, trying to wake up earlier so they get to see more of their mom. It's sad, but it's 2020. Yeah, no. I'm kind of curious where everything's gonna go this year. Like, I'm not sure how it is in other parts of the world right now, but we've got, for lack of a better term, we've basically got a complete dumpster fire of a political situation going on right now. Like, there's been some pretty blatant stuff happening. Like, we're supposed to be having an election, and one of the groups is literally putting out fake boxes for them to put their votes into. Trying to get people to literally throw their votes in the trash, trying to call every part of it fake and whatever else. It is infuriating as it is terrifying. Let's put it that way. Alright, so as before, we're still stacking cards on Denim here, so everyone else is going to sit around, basically get hit by this wizard guy. And as soon as Denim gets his card, we can finish him off. So yeah, if you're wondering how on earth Denim got such high stats, this is how. Simply because very, very slowly, about 0.1 to 0.3 of different stats at a time, we've just been climbing it up this way. He's still not... I mean, he's still barely above average. You, like, the amount of stats he has right now, you could, in general, in any normal game, basically get that probably within a few, hell, maybe like 2 class switches by the end of the 3rd fight or so. It's like, if you know how to cheese it, you can do pretty well. Because I think he's still in like 40s or something, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check. I mean, the blessing in disguise of all this is that everything is still relatively scaled down. Okay, actually, maybe not. He's gotten... How the hell has he gotten that many strength cards? Holy crap. Yeah, apparently he's gotten way more strength than anything else, but, yeah... I guess, okay, that's like 5 or 6 class switches in, I suppose. For folks that don't know what I'm talking about, you could... In the base game, there's this mechanic where every time you level up as a class, and this is actually why it didn't allow experience, it's level 1, no experience, simply because if experience was still gained, they would still be getting stats with every fight. But basically, every time that a class itself levels up and a unit is in that fight as that class, they get a very small increase to their stats. It could be seen as one of those stat cards, but it's for every stat that they have. Which, yeah, tends to get pretty strong. We're gonna go ahead and use one of these Swordmaster type dealies over here. Do the old lion dance here. Please tell me it's not stuttering this much. I should really stop mentioning that, it's probably annoying. But yeah, so like, for example, recently I was posting that whole, Stubborn Wretch challenge. It's the reason why that one's so low. Because a single character can very realistically get through the game that way. I mean, most of that run is just trying to collect different classes, trying to collect different weapon types, and just ranking everything. Because for every rank you get, it scales up everything that you do. For every racial rank that you get, which should basically always be anatomy, except for maybe a couple fights in the game, that's getting scaled up as well. Why are they dropping so many cards? Did I leave one of my testing codes on? Hang on, let me double check that I didn't leave one of the testing codes on. Well, actually, no, they have been dropping items. I think we're just getting lucky on cards. Yeah, I was doing a bit of a test the other day, seeing if I would make a video on a thing to see whether class leveling or just collecting cards constantly is actually a more efficient way to do it. Yeah, no, it's not even a contest. Cards are so friggin' slow. Alright, so anyone that didn't know, the 3 Terror Knights on this map basically all have a chance to drop meat items. Those will give you 50 TP, as well as a stat card bonus to 2 different stats. The stat card bonus, I mean, the stat bonus is nice, but realistically, it's the 50 TP charge that's the big deal. In OV, it was changed to the ginseng. Yeah, so far, so alright here. We might have gotten 1 item out of it. I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure how many we have left of those. Because if I recall correctly, I still had a stockpile to some degree. Yeah, 5 of them should be more than enough. They're basically there as an emergency crutch, if you're wondering why why even bother with them. If there's any case where there's simply not enough time to build up TP to use the kind of finisher cheese, the idea is to go and use a couple of those at the start of the fight. Or even just attack and then use a meat item. Or the other way around. Yeah, with so many things going wrong, I would absolutely be restarting this one if it didn't also mean the fact that I wouldn't have enough time left to probably do anything of any value for this stream, but okay. Probably should have had him go do the steel thing. I think I've gotten steel almost up to rank 3 on him. So down the road, what I was hoping to do, I don't know what route this is on, but one thing I really should have considered is going down neutral. So since we're hopefully eventually going for Land's Ending on this one, the eventual goal is to actually go down the neutral path and pick up Diebold, because he comes with Terrifying Impact, as well as I believe he comes with Lament of the Dead. Which, again, seems like a weird thing, but having a Crossbow Terror Knight is actually probably one of the better builds that we can potentially do. There's only one guy that can be recruited that comes with those skills. So, we'll see what we can do with that. I don't believe there's any other way to get them either. Because I think Death, what was it? It's like Hallows or something? There was some other skill that also had it, but it basically ranks in a weird way, so there's no way that we're gonna get anything useful out of it. Let's see. Go for a Chance of Charm, or take that guy out, which is probably what we're gonna go for. Yeah, we're just gonna go for the one-hit kill on that guy. I don't have the crossbow in denim right now, simply because his shortbow stuff has been enough to one-shot almost anything. There we go. See if we can maybe get some more items out of that. I believe there's a rare chance for them to drop some of their Swordmaster abilities here, but I don't know for sure right now. Can barely scratch the knight, it's kind of pathetic. And we can definitely expect that trend right there to continue. And then if you get hit by a ninja, you're probably just dead. I mean, they're pretty dang threatening in a normal run. Something like this, yeah, it's gonna hurt. Gotta just keep reviving people to hopefully not let their timers run out, or that. That's not great either. No. Now, the plus side, yeah, you might be wondering why I didn't go through and try to give everybody else a bit more stats and keep it a bit more balanced. The way that the party's set up right now is actually really beneficial. So the bulk of our actual hitting power is almost completely unaffected. So everybody else takes pretty substantial punishment if they were to get hit by almost anything. Meanwhile, our main hitter here, Denim, is pretty much never going to be targeted. He's just not viewed as a threat by the AI. Well, it's not necessarily that he's not viewed as a threat. It's just the AI is looking at him like, well, I can't really hurt that, so let me go for one of the squishies. There was going to go for the meatiest hits. So, they simply don't care that he's there. So that's pretty neat. But yeah, going forward, our builds are primarily going to be either dart and crossbow or shotgun and dart. Both are equally functional at this point. For anyone, it's generally going to be a preference towards darts for anyone that has a better set of stats. Darts have, for whatever reason, darts actually have better damage than the shortbow or than the crossbow. Just the crossbow's got the best finisher, and the shortbow's got the best range. That's kind of what we're working with right now. Right, fine. And yeah, even in the rain, they're still doing pretty reliable damage here. It's going to be one of those few cases I am going to take a card, because I do not want this one gone. Because our teleports are going to be entirely limited to Wheel of Fortune cards. I don't think he can make this shot, but we're going to give it a shot. No pun intended. Yeah. Oh well. Worth a go. Probably should have gone for the revive, actually. And judging by the fact that I've seen a few people come and go, I'm assuming the stuttering is in fact a thing. Which is unfortunate, but yeah, there's not really much I can do about it today, so we're just going to continue on. If the video still has a stutter, sucks. We'll see if it even goes up. If it doesn't have a stutter, good. Then I'm just talking about nothing, and this will make no sense in the future. Also, despite being 86%, I believe that was, it somehow managed to miss 2 out of its 3 shots. Fantastic. That is exactly what you want to see. Yeah, I think what I need to do is get this computer a little bit rebuilt. Pretty sure it's just the hard drive acting up again. But there's no way to know for sure. Well, actually, no. I tried to know for sure the other day, because then I was going through and trying to figure out what could potentially be causing all these crazy lag spikes and everything. And so I went through and I tried to do diagnostics for basically everything I could think of. And everything came back fine. So I don't know what that exactly means in this case. Alright, sir, I'm gonna need you to stop pretending this is not a foregone conclusion, please. Doesn't matter. Denim's here to finish him off. And done deal. And away we go. Did we get anything good out of that? I have no idea. No. Absolutely nothing of any value. Oh well. Return to the map, sure. And let's go ahead and continue on here. So next is Highlands. That is going to be... What is that going to be, now that I think about it? The map that I was thinking of is Raisin Way. Oh, right, it's Hobram. So, hopefully he can be saved. We'll probably do a little bit of a teleport cheese. And if you're wondering what the overall logic is behind some of these extra units that are being popped in, they are just there as guests. It really doesn't matter what they do. If they do something, great. If they don't, they don't. I won't really have any access to a lot of things like, say, mass anatomy for quite a while. There really isn't too much that they can do until they start getting anatomy. It's quite frankly going to make a far bigger difference than a lot of their stats will right now. At least to the degree that we can move that particular needle. And unfortunately, no, this is not Hobram. It's Roberval. Hang on, so what the hell is Hobram up to in this particular route? I don't even remember what route... Actually, no, we have to be on Law, so... Yeah, so we're gonna find him in the town later. Okay. That's fine. I'm not sure that that's necessarily a better thing, but we can probably teleport cheese at that point. Maybe just have Denim go in naked. It's like, do Wheel of Fortune at the start, get the warps in, have somebody else put a strengthen on him. Probably take a few snipes at the back cleric or something like that, and then... Yeah, because we more or less need to recruit a lot of these situations here. Because right now we don't have access to the parts of the map that we need, because we need the aqueduct in order to get access to golems again. Those will open up anatomy, fortify, and strengthen for the entire team. And then from there we need... well, I guess there's a few different options. Well, for now we're just gonna take little formation snipes at everybody that's coming close. Trying to build up a little bit of TP, see if we can use that to push through. Hopefully a Robber Ball will do his usual thing and just bomb rush forward. They're already scaled up to level 12 at this point, so there's not much we're going to be able to do aside from scratch them. But whatever, we're just building up points. And again, to any new folks coming in, I don't know if it's stuttering currently, so if it is stuttering on the playback thing, I would appreciate if somebody would tell me. Then I might be able to go see about adjusting it. At the moment, I'm assuming it's just on my end, because it usually is. Okay, I'm assuming Warrior Lady over there is probably running Sword and Board or something, that we can't do more than one. Yeah, they're doing Crossbow Shield, that's fine. At this point, everybody's gone up to Tier 3 on their equipment. Ninjas are never really going to be terribly defensive, so that's fine. Most of the team is rogues, so they're going to be pretty fast, as well as pretty invasive. Alright, take your almost no damage, please. And it doesn't seem like much, but if it gets them to waste a heal, that's fine. I think we'll have some of the less useful units go ahead and push themselves up to the front. They'll be useful eventually, just not right now. Because yeah, once there's team-wide anatomy going, that'll be around the point that I can just kind of leave everything auto-grinding consistently. Like, with Denim able to solo timeout at the moment, it's relatively reliable, but it's not enough to the point where I can just basically leave it doing whatever all day. Because usually when you want to do an auto-grind, you just plug the dang thing in and then you just keep resetting the fight over and over. Probably should have switched him over to a different weapon, but that's fine. Okay. I have no idea what just happened there. Like, I know it's been glitching out today. Actually, of all the weird things, for some reason my computer's been registering, just like random keyboard inputs, even though the keyboard's not doing anything. Like, I was looking through my key bindings and I couldn't figure out why the analog stick thing kept moving over and over and over, and for some reason it just randomly entered a thing for having F9 be one of the analog sticks. Like, that seems to be what it's still trying to do right now, even though I deleted that key binding, so I don't know what that's about. I guess it's at least minorly better than the screen basically just melting itself when the Vito was plugged in. I just wish I wasn't having so many problems today. What can you do? Gripe, 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 gripe. Like, right there, I did not push down at all. And it's just selecting different buttons entirely. And I've tried seeing if it's, like, processes or whatever else, and like I said, I double-checked the hard drive. It said everything was coming back fine. When I was looking at the processes, though, it's like, the chart's friggin' all over the place. The dang thing looks like a jigsaw puzzle, so I don't know exactly what that means. But it doesn't look great. So I don't know. Anywho, after all of this whole section here, wow, 280% dodges in a row. The hope is that Venom Scrolls become available. Those might actually not be available until way later. But as soon as they're available, that puts us in a position where we're able to well, suddenly being able to do damage doesn't matter that much anymore, because the entire map can just be poisoned. So yeah, that right there, this guy's lines, this is what ends up deciding... later on, this is what ends up deciding whether or not you get access to Ocean or not. And you might be saying, why didn't I leave Yunin alive to be able to go get Ocean? And it's not really going to be worth it. I'm not sure if we even have the Chaos Frame to be able to pull that off. And for another thing, anything that she's going to have on her, we'll be able to get some other way. And or we don't really have much of a use for. Like, even Draconology we currently have access to. Monster taming skills won't really be a thing. Simply because monster units don't get finishers. They get some skills that may scale weirdly in some cases, but it's not going to be anything that'll really help in this case. Like, potentially Griffin's speed and things like that would potentially be something good, but that's something we'll play with for the end game. After this point, I can't even get... Actually, no, I can't ever get those except... No, you can get Obda and Berta. So we wouldn't be able to get them yet. And Power Beast... I think Gamp comes with those anyway, so there really wouldn't be a reason to ever get Ocean. Anyway, Line Dance. See if kicking the computer helps at all. It didn't seem to help. We'll see if kicking it harder helps. Okay, it hasn't stuttered for... Oh no, there it goes. There we go, kick it a few more times, see if that helps. I have no idea. Pretty sure abusing the computer isn't really gonna fix any problems. But it's worth a try, you know, for science if nothing else. Actually, I can think of it. Would a blowgun finish him off at this point? Yes, it would. Might as well just go for the blowgun. This is what I was saying earlier. It's very slight, but it's weird that the blowgun actually has more damage. And it's mostly just because of the fact that it scales a bunch of different stats, and we get an Angel Fruit. That's pretty worthless. Yeah, there's a lot of things in the remake that are odd. One of the things that definitely sticks out is the fact that the Angel Fruit used to be one of the best items in the game, and it's literally just a crafting material to make one of the worst healing items in the game. And you notice a lot of weird details doing these runs. I was mentioning for the Stubborn Wretch challenge, which, yeah, definitely intending to do a bit of that one later. But yeah, it's interesting how when it comes to a lot of the debuffs, it's actually the same ones that, a lot of the most accurate ones are the ones that witches and stuff like that are actually using throughout most of the series. Guess we could shackle that guy. I mean, next round we're guaranteed done anyway. Not to mention, by the audio alone, it sounds like the damn game's falling apart. Dang computer, stop dying! I can't afford to fix you or do much of anything. Because this whole year has gone from terrible to cruel to worse. I think that's why it annoys me so much whenever they've got political ads going on. They're like, oh man, they're just gonna... all these, like, peoples that have 15 yachts or whatever, they're gonna raise your taxes or something by like 1%. Oh my god, it's basically everything ruined forever. It's like, man, I don't want that problem. I would like to not be terrified of the electric bill. And again, like I'm curious if it's the same case everywhere else, but it's like every time anything along those lines comes up here in the States, it's like there's always a bunch of people coming out acting like it's the end of the dang world, like just everything is ruined forever. Their literal entire existence is falling down around their eyes. It's falling down around them, everything's ruined. Like, they might maybe get like $50 extra in taxes. It's basically their life's work destroyed. Alright, there we go. That's that one done. There's really no reason to do anything other than just finishing off fights at this point. I'm assuming that's a pretty human thing pretty much everywhere. I mean, they just call it pearl clutching, but yeah, you see a lot of that. Alright, so next up is gonna be Mr. Vance, whatever. Forget what his actual name is, but we're gonna go ahead and switch over to crossbow then. Get all the pew-pews going. So all those horrible, almost garbage disposal esque sounds keep coming through. Right. There's Mr. Vance. See, I love this little detail right here. Like, how many days has it been? Oh, 2 at least. 2 is the minimum number of days that it would take for you to travel from there. So they just automatically assume it'll be 2 days. I don't know if this adjusts if you've taken longer. I really doubt it, but it's just a cool little detail. But yeah, this guy, every time that he shows up in the story, he seems to be trying to figure stuff out pretty well. He never survives, but still. A party approaches! I mean, honestly, I would totally be on board for an option to recruit this guy if there was a chance. Because they've actually got one of the cooler builds in the base game. Because they're actually one of the few, like, support caster crossbows in the game. And interestingly enough, they don't even go for a light setup. They're actually an offensive caster plus, I kind of think that I think they can actually spawn in with water, if I'm not mistaken. But you can tell this is a very we couldn't get the AI to do what we wanted type of build. Also, it's a little funny that he's got a skill level 30. But yeah, Ogdark is meant to be an offensive caster. He's got crossbows. Up at rank 3, so he's almost threatened with them. But then HP infusion, so he's actually not meant to be using finishers. He entirely tries to repeatedly recover. And we should be able to get both of those guys exercised. I probably should have started off with the meat items here, because Vance is pretty rough. I mean, he's almost definitely going to take a finisher to sort. Alright, computer, come on. I would say we're definitely gonna go ahead and get you repaired after all this, but I'll be honest, I don't even know if there's gonna be time. Not even sure what it is that's wrong with it. It's literally in the exact same condition that it was fine 3 other times this week. But it just randomly does this. got here? We got Mince Patty, we got Mollusk. I think this one's Dex, isn't it? Yeah, that's Avoid and Resistance. Int and Mod. I think Avoid and Resistance. It's not like he gets hit by casters much anyway, but oh well. It's primarily for the stats anyway. What I hope is that he can get close. He'll probably take one crossbow shot, he'll end up giving one, and then hopefully end up sniping one of the healers back there, and then we'll be done. And this is around the point where Exorcism... I forget if I was mentioning this earlier, but this is around the point where it starts dropping off very dramatically. Like, after a certain point, once they start equipping rings, and as they start getting a bit higher in level, you're gonna start seeing lower and lower exorcism rates to the point where once we get later on in the run, it literally will get down to 0% to actually exercise anything, so we're basically gonna be relying on Draconics to that. Simply because they are a 100% chance to hit, they will automatically exercise if something's hit with them, so... And I would say it's expensive, but who the hell are we kidding? This run has no need of any other items, all they need is spellbook, so they can afford it. You know, I'd have to say, I have to ask later, I wonder if the Necromancer build from, oh, you know, actually I wonder if the Chariot, yeah, I wonder if Vance here can actually be a Necromancer in the mod. Because seriously, this guy's build is basically the One Vision Necromancer. He's a caster crossbow guy. Alright, so I know for sure that it's going to be a one-shot kill against this guy, so I'm just going to snipe to get those extra points to be absolutely certain. Should cause the healers to pick another direction to go to. We'll have somebody else go pick up that vid card of the tower. Nope, and 1 second. Okay, and back. Let's continue on. Yeah, a lot of these are really not going to do very much, but that's fine. Alright, come on, good. Take this knight. He's still at 99. Actually, I probably should have just taken that shot at Denim. Because he actually would take more from our dudes than theirs. Let Evan take the vet card. Get a bit more beefy. And this kind of stuff right here is exactly why we're not raising anyone's stats until we can... well, until we get to the full endgame setup. Because one way or another, I need to be able to make sure that the Denim is not taking those kinds of hits, and that we basically have a reliable way to attack. It's with everybody else. I mean, if they have the opportunity, they can one-shot anything on the map with a finisher, but in this particular case, we're still in a position where we basically have a countdown to win, more or less. This whole setup is basically like if you're playing FTL and you have any of the Federation cruisers. Like, you just have a thing that it may be slow, but it will eventually get you the win. I mean, unless you're playing the Type C, in which case you got like a 30% chance of a win. For anyone that doesn't know what I'm talking about, so FTL, like, you basically have all these different kinds of ships with different layouts and different armaments that you start off with. And so the Federation cruiser's whole deal is that it's got a artillery gun on there, which basically just means, like, normally you have all your weapons assigned to one weapon system, and then you just kind of power that thing up and get upgrades for it, and it's just all in one chunk. Meanwhile, the artillery beam is, or the artillery system is its own thing, and will just slowly charge up. I believe it's the slowest charging weapon in the game, if not at least one of them. And so what ends up happening is, at the very end of it, you get you basically get a laser that will get past pretty much any defense, and it's guaranteed to do some damage. It may not be anything overwhelming, but it will eventually win you the fight. So yeah, that thing is pretty cool. However, there's 3 different versions of each. And so the first 2 just have this beam thing. Second one is a little bit faster, but a little bit lacking in some other areas. The third one effectively just... I'm assuming they decided to lean fully into the fact that it looks like a giant flying space dick, for lack of a better term. Because it's literally just a giant shotgun spray of shrapnel. Which, it's cool. It's definitely one of the coolest things in the game, but it's really unreliable compared to the rest, because you basically have one. Your first option there, your basic one, is moderately quick. Also, by the way, if Gatalio survives earlier, instead of Night Lady, he's over here, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, so they have the exact same lines, by the way. But anyway, so yeah, so with that laser thing, you've got 2 different types of defense going on in the game. Well, technically 3. You've got evasion as its own type of defense. It only kind of maxes out at 48%. You get regular shields, which basically allow physical things, like, for example, like missiles or teleport bombs or whatever. You can get through those, but then most lasers or shrapnel or whatever else are blocked by them. While, on the other hand, you've got... what's it? You've got hard shields, which basically will block everything, but they're way harder to get a hold of. And usually you only can do that 5 times or so, and then you gotta either have an entire thing dedicated to recharging it, or, well, let's just say it's difficult to get a hold of. So, okay, so that's all well and good. So yeah, but then you basically have this thing that is completely unavoidable dodge-wise. It completely goes through their shields there. Hard shields are the only thing that stop. Meanwhile, on the other hand, you have this C variant, which, yes, technically fires 12 times. So, like, let's say with the laser thing, you've got a potential of anywhere from 1 to 6 that it would normally do. So you would think, okay, it's firing 12 times, it would potentially do 12. Except that every one of those also has to be blocked by a shield, so by the end that's already 4 of them removed, plus about a 50% dodge chance on something, so potentially another half of them removed, plus potentially hard shields. There's basically a chance that it does absolutely nothing after sitting there and charging for about 2 minutes. It's funny though. It's just a weird setup, because the thing doesn't even have anything else to shoot with, so your only options are either send somebody to go board the other ship there, or use this weird space date gun. It's definitely not one of the favorites, but it's funny all the same. But again, a lot of the Type C's in that game were just meant as a joke, I think. Because it was a joke from day one that all the Federation cruisers looked like that. God, I love that game. It's just such a good game. Also, by the way, I just want to point out the rules for this kind of shot are pretty dang inconsistent. It's like right here, I can still make this shot despite the fact that earlier I couldn't make this exact same shot. And I believe it's based off of a calculation of how many, like for example, if it's counting these as one elevation and these as the higher elevation, I think whether or not you can make that second shot is entirely determined either by which direction you're facing, or by how many, comparatively how many tiles there are to either direction. Because I know when I couldn't make that shot earlier, I was basically in a position where it was the same distance apart, but they were firing from the equivalent of this tile and firing at this guy. Which I guess we can probably test that right now if we can get somebody over there before they get a chance to move. Although I think they're going to move right now. Although, you know, we can still test if we can make it to that tile, potentially. It's worth a try. But yeah, same as before, what we're doing is just building up TP right now. And then once we build up enough, we just go fire at their leader guy, get our gem book, and ride along. Still can't use the gem book, but yeah. Accidentally bit my tongue there somehow. It's that kind of day, I suppose. Alright, so let's go ahead and test that shot then. So we're gonna reset this turn, but... Oh, he doesn't even have... Never mind, he doesn't have a short bow on him. I was gonna say, he's the only one without trajectory. Probably should have used the blowgun there. Oh well. Ah, that's stuttering though. Please stutter, don't be coming through on the other end. It's like every few seconds it's doing like this kind of sound. Your computer is about to melt from the inside. What did you do? The sound. Like, for what it's worth, it's now a... Where did I get this thing? It's almost like a 12-year-old computer now. So, I mean, yeah, it's definitely several years past when it should have been in the grave. Things barely been maintained. I mean, when I got it, it was pretty well used, so... So there's that. It's actually one of the old office computers from back in the old, working for a crazy person days. Alright, you've got trajectory. Can we make that shot? Yeah, so they can make the shot, so I guess that's not it. I guess it must be which direction they're facing. That determines what's going on there. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and drop another Lion Dance. Hopefully we're gonna have either Mr. Cow or Mr. Evans showing up this hour. Don't think Mr. Vale will be up just yet. Hopefully somebody can tell us, is it chipping and chopping? Do I sound like a crazy person? I mean, usually the answer is yes, but I mean, in this particular context. Alright, so now they've already scaled up to level 14. Like, this is the point of the game where stuff gets real. Where we actually probably want to consider having having some defense against spears on some of these people. Yeah, I think we'll do a little Benum action here. And then after we take this castle, that I believe is the second shop upgrade that we're gonna get. Alright, how do we hit you? That's fine. Spark Sphere in on there. It's pretty unlikely to hit, but it's worth a shot. Good. Guy over here with his basic casts getting friggin' 100+ damage in. I mean, it's kind of a funny thing where we're kind of gonna have the opposite of an run, where suddenly casters are becoming crazy powerful into the end game. And actually, we're almost at the point, almost at the break point where we start being able to do normal damage with a lot of units. I mean, it's really just going to come down to having anatomy and strength on people, because they just with base attacks and everything else, even with maxed weapon ranks, they just cannot scale it high enough. I mean, they're basically trying to drop rocks in a toilet bowl and get it to overflow a dam, but I mean, you drop enough rocks, okay, but you're probably going to break the toilet before anything else in this case. Now, I believe once we get Master Undead, I think that's the point at which we might be able to get Field Alchemy. I don't know for sure, though. Because it's one of these cases where I believe we'll actually be able to potentially unlock some stuff that we might not be able to get otherwise. Because there has to be at least... I guess we'll see when we get to it. Current plan, I forget if I covered this earlier, but current plan is more or less we get to we get to the point where we have anatomy on everybody, potentially fortified depending on what we're doing. We essentially use that to be able to unlock Chapter 4 and unlock Palace of the Dead. We get to the Palace of the Dead. By that point, we've already hopefully used golems for everything we can use them for. There's actually 2 potential maps that we can get, a few different versions of them, which should get us something. POTD should also get us access to Necromancers, which should then get us access to dead units, which should then potentially give us access to some other skills, like just mostly humanoid skills. So we'll see what that accomplishes, at which point we also need to I can't really think of it. Yeah, that we're eventually going to go Angel Knights, I know that. Like, almost completely Angel Knights. Don't know, we'll see. Alright, first of all, any old finisher will not be enough to finish him off. Okay, so I need range for a Death Whale. Alright, where is our hover? Let's get our hover. Feels weird to say where the hover is right now, because it's actually something that we use for work. Alright, perfect. So now we need to put all resources towards speeding Denim up and slowing down Mr. Ogre. But yeah, the eventual goal, like I said, is for Angel Knights there, not for any particular skills, but it just gives them the ability to fly, which flight is better than teleport. Not to mention it would be pretty dramatic statistical upgrade, I believe. Since I believe they have better early stats, since you're not supposed to have access to them. But I could be wrong on that one. Take a few little 1 damage shots on this guy, see if it does anything. But then yeah, in terms of actually getting One-Eyed Night Slayer and things like that, rather Wheel Breaker. So that's the one where you have to beat all of Coda 4. That goal is going to be a little bit weird. And I think we'll eventually maybe try for One-Eyed Night Slayer. It's just that it would take a far longer grind and it would kind of break one of the other rules of this run. So I think we might do that as its own thing. But kind of where all of that stands at this point. Let's just do Flare. Right, unfortunate timing for that to run out. I believe this should still be a finisher. Yep. Because he's roughly the equivalent of like a 20 level-wise right now. Which is more or less all we really need to beat the game. Now, there was one time where this fight broke out. I know I mentioned this every run, but I'm still hoping somebody can tell me how it was done. Because there was some means by which I managed to knock the guy off the map and stuff to bug out. But okay. So this is where we're going to go ahead and use the rest. Use the rest of those meat items. So I believe this should be the final part of Chapter 3. Actually, no, I think we have Almorica again after this, because it's Law Route. Gaccialo, who I'll always call Gatalio. Just because I think it sounds better. And yeah, this one should be simple. He just needs 2 meat items, he needs a haste, and then we should be good. Everybody else is just here as a meat shield. They take the hits, he takes the teleports. In fact, I think his next round will actually be to set up a teleport, not even to eat another meat item. So we can just do this. Since the AI will definitely not be targeting him for anything. At least almost definitely. They might be saying, hey, stop clearing your throat, that is really annoying, how dare you, and yeah, it's gonna dry out. It is getting extra dry out. Alright, so he's all set up. Let's go ahead and give him a heal up from what he just did. And we don't really even need to worry about anyone else, because they are just here to take hits. Except for maybe we want to set a little bit of a speed up on a couple random folks, just to maybe make them take hits a little bit better. We'll see. Let's see if it's worth it. And I was thinking about setting up some stuns for safety. It's probably not worth it, because I don't think they'll ever even get a chance to do much with them. I guess it can't really hurt. Actually, maybe Bridle instead. just in case this isn't a kill right off the bat. We'll do one bridle, one stun. And I guess he's on AI, so whatever. Forgot to take him off AI. Yeah, so I've rewatched the level 1, or not level 1, but the solo run a few times. Keep kicking myself for going out of my way to pick up the teleport boots and things like that. Because in the long run it wound up being so pointless. It's like at any point I could have just used the cards for... I think I still had 8 left at the end of the run. Like, man, could have just used those, went through all that extra effort. Made such a big deal of getting them. Stop crotch bubbling people, you weird otter-looking thing. And yeah, as long as we don't attack, we are just fine. They can take pretty quick turns, especially because they're rogues. I'm really glad that the rogues wound up as good as they did for this. Actually, one thing I don't know if I remember mentioning last time. So every class has a kind of innate attack bonus attached to them that scales up as time goes on. Somebody, for whatever frickin' reason, decided, you know what? The rogue needs about 3 times more than anybody else. Don't worry about it, don't question it, it's fine. So, for example, warriors, I believe, get either 2 or 3, cleric gets like 1, archers get 4 or so. Yeah, rogues somewhere like 6 to 8, I think. It's like a jaguar otter at it now. Oh man, I just noticed, if he doesn't... Okay, on Denim's next turn, he might... This might just be hilarious. Actually... No, you know what, he should be fine regardless, looking at it. Because I was gonna say, he can teleport in and get stopped at exactly the point where he needs to take the shot at Getialo, but... Yeah, sure enough, they're moving out of the way to go get a bit more damage, and that should be checkmate. Yep. And that's game right there. Usually kill off Getialo early. Feels good to kind of get the comeback like that, because we did absolutely nothing to him the first time around. But regardless of which flavored Terror Knight you end up fighting at this point in the game, you always get a Bastard Sword out of it. It's a weird thing that they insist on having there. I do love that line, like, no, we won. This is not fair, we won. How did you win if we win? It's, like, I love his logic, though. It was like, no, he's pulled out a knife to go fight everyone here. Also, interestingly enough, if you have certain recruits with you, they'll take the place of that knight and wizard, but they're just sort of generics here, because we don't have anyone to fill those slots. Stab. Also, you had a knife, it's a sword now. Don't worry about it. And then Vice happens, and then once we rescue Vice, that is the end of Chapter 4. So now we go back to, or the end of Chapter 3. Alright, so... Like I said, we really were not terribly far away from actually making this happen last time around. So, same strategy here. Albeit with a bit more normalcy this time around. I saw a guide somewhere mistaken for that you would that Vice would die if you took the upper route. It's really just a choice of whichever fight you want to take. I don't know if it was that way in the original or not, but yeah. It does make a difference. The other fight is versus the Necromancer and Swarm. This one is versus dragons and crap. Also, apparently my camera is not able to go left. Sure, why not? Controls are all jacked up today. And yeah, same setup as before, except we're gonna just let him take normal shots. Everyone else is gonna be fodder for these dragons and things. He's gonna try to take a couple shots at some casters, get rebuffed, and then he should have enough points to finish the fight. Or he might just be able to take some regular shots at the boss, who knows. Probably should have tested where his damage is at this point. Usually Bruticos does have all his dudes up front though. Alright, so he'd do 85. I think we'll set up the teleport, but there's really no reason to use a food item here. Because you would only need a couple turns, and we can definitely make it work. Especially if he's going to do stuff like that. And the only reason he attacked him there is because he's the only one in range. Now, teleport won't avoid Rampart Aura, but it will allow us to potentially circle around some of the swamp areas. Another little benefit, by the way, in terms of reviving people, I know that this fight's gonna be long over before they ever bleed out. But one of the benefits is they'll end up potentially retreating if you do it that way. It's like, for example, they'll attack somebody, they'll get them down to low health, and then if they're right back up on their feet, they'll be like, oh wait, I can attack this and then retreat, you know, this is a good idea, I can get a little bit of damage off, I can still be safe. This is a good way to go, and so they'll take another shot, usually from the front, usually that ends up missing, because it's, you know, a rogue from the front, so you could potentially cause some shenanigans that way. Man. That horrible mechanical sound. As much as I hope it doesn't come through, I'm almost kind of secretly hoping in the background that it does come through. Just to show how terrible that sound is. I really hope it doesn't come through, though. I mean, all signs are definitely pointing towards retiring this computer, but just I keep getting it on life support for 5 more minutes and thinking, man, maybe, you know, maybe we can make it last just a little bit longer. Because thanks to some help a little while ago, I was able to get it patched up for about another year, but yeah, I don't know what's going on with it right now. Works. So far, so good. Now what I need is a couple more units up front so they don't target Denim as much. Alright, that's a problem. Now, all resources need to be put towards keeping him going. Plus side, if he gets a crit next round, we're very good. And there we go, as long as we keep putting other units in place to get hit, he does not get hit. That's actually potentially beneficial. I think that's still within kill range for a crit. They do have 2 casters coming up. I'm hoping they go for... Yeah, no, that's a problem. That is definitely a problem. Alright. That is this one wiped. Let's do that again, this time with points. I don't know why he keeps trying to jump to that save file. Also, out of curiosity, let's take a quick look here. Okay, heal 3 is not available, is... Yeah! Alright, that's good. Just give me all of them. Wow, that actually took all of our money. Them suckers are expensive. I might as well sell these because I can never use them. I'll be using a bunch of those later, but not right now. Kind of pick those up for the hell of it right now. I'm not sure if it's anything that'll ever benefit us, but it's good to have. Yeah, Dragoon's another one that's going to be pretty handy down the line. I guess technically speaking, yeah, we can't just go for the Bordeaux route. This one will be a little bit easier. So this one's just a basic Necromancer. This music's so much better outside of POTD. I think it's just because it's not the POTD. Yeah, we're just gonna try to get some dudes out of the way here. Still gonna be low 55% for the moment. Now, I couldn't tell you why they're all at 55%. They might scale off of level difference or something. Because to some degree, I know that it does get resisted, but it's weird that all of them have the same thing so far. Now, another benefit of going this route is this guy can't heal. So all I gotta do is get close, and that's it. That means we can save the meat items that we've got for now for the next one, which is gonna be Snipe Gamp a couple times. Essentially can do the same meat and then get attacked type setup. And then for the Leonard fight, I'm pretty sure we're fine as is. One hit. Good. Alright, now will this miss? Nope, computer's being haunted again. It's sending out the CD tray for no reason. Alright, come on, Meat Shield. Can do this. Hit. Yeah, I was kind of hoping for that to hit. Get a little bit more TP out of this whole situation. It's fine. We're probably gonna have to end up doing it with normal hits, but there's still a chance. Oh yeah, and since a guy asked that time, yes, the plan is still to do the entire POTD and Coda 4 in this run. The music just reminded me, we'll get there eventually. And yeah, POTD is actually necessary to even complete this run, and not to mention we'll have to actually go through it a couple times. First, to pick up the stuff we're going to be using for most of the run, and then second, we're going to have to be going through for actual Coda. Which still sucks that we can't use the shortcut to that point. But what can you do? This stubborn wretch run that I was talking about earlier. Like it's making it really weird to do normal runs now. Because I've just got a thing where every time I'm going to the store for something, it feels like I shouldn't be at the store at the moment. At the same time, getting a bit overly excited every time there's an mint leaf drop. Alright, I think Hover's gonna be as good as a warp here. Sure enough, it is. So we're actually gonna go right here. Yeah, I think right here, because then they've got other things that they could potentially target. So this place is absolutely rife with buried items. That's weird. Why do you turn around and attack? He's got so many better opportunities right in front of him. good. No melees, please. Okay, good. Run forward. No run forward. Alright, look, I'm gonna need one of these hits to actually hit him, please. Don't suppose you want to crit? I don't think that'll even be enough to help at this point. Yeah, they just need to swarm in. So those ghosts won't be able to do anything for their first round. They're just kind of hanging out. There you go. So as long as he makes it to the next round, we win. Yeah, they can't even... they still can't do regular damage. I'm just trying to annoy him at this point. Probably should have set up stuns or something, but it's fine. Really, the strategy is pretty much how a car is built, of all the odd metaphors. Because the entire thing is just basically one big crumple zone. Whereas the actual one that needs to be protected is over there. Alright, we're almost there. We're almost there. And then once Chapter 3 is done with, that should open up all of the south of the map. And that's when we finally get bombs. They can keep going for all these little mini heals. Won't matter. It's probably going to potentially leave them all charged up with their tier 2s, though. Good. They went for some pretty extreme overkill. Let's go for Frigid Blast, why not? I can't remember if you actually do see them again. Now that I think about it, I didn't actually check what their name is. Because I think that might be implied to be that lady that shows up in Palace of the Dead later, but she's a son, so I'm not sure. Which actually, come to think of it, I mean, we can access to the aqueduct right now. Nah, I'm gonna do that off screen. We've only got 2 fights left in this. So off screen, I'm just gonna go to the aqueduct, repeatedly hire. Oh, hang on one sec. Okay. Let's start getting this thing wrapped up. So we've got 3 meat items left. 2 of them are going to be used right here. Same strategy as before. He's going to need access to a teleport. It's not a negotiable thing. So nothing here has Rampart Aura. It's just not something the Gamp does. He's got a pretty free form. So we set up some speed, set up some power on him. Make sure not to do anything whatsoever to any of his units, because unlike the other encounters, taking out his animals is a bad thing here. So same old crumble zone strategy. Just bulk rush everybody forward. Kind of a checkerboard pattern works for this one, because you can get them trapped in certain areas and guarantee that they aren't lined up. Because there are 4 of them. So ideally you want to leave your pathways a bit open. And yeah, whether we go for teleport or whether we go for a second food item is going to depend entirely on where Gamp moves this next round. Alright, weird way that they decided to do it. I think we're going to go for the food item here. Actually, no, we're going to go for the warp, because they'll probably try to attack him directly. Yeah, as far as themes go, I will say this one doesn't terribly match what's going on very well. Personally, I would have gone with Limitation for this, but oh well. Not my call. Now my circle, my monkeys, as the saying goes. I feel like there's a bit of a story behind that saying, but, you know, don't know what it is. Alright, here's hoping they go for some of the ones in the back, because they've got higher health. And we can give him a couple little cherry taps here. So get him above the threshold that he needs. These guys had a bit of a better time getting through than I thought, so I don't think Denham's actually getting attacked. Nice, shot's clear. So far, so good. Good. He's got what he needs. So now we give him a heal. Now whatever, let's take a safety shot, just to be absolutely certain it's 100. Yeah, they're probably gonna at least miss a couple here. Or not. That works too. Yeah, he would not have had the points if I hadn't cherry tapped him there. So it was a little bit hard to tell. But there we go. Let's checkmate. And then that leaves one fight in this chapter. always feel like Law Chapter 3 is just one of those chapters that never ends. I was just like, oh, but hang on, your dominance over the island is in another castle. Time to go take another one. And then Cash Rose decides, because of course she does. It's just what she does every route. And by the way, you know what? It's been a while since I did a Kelnoth casual route, which recently did that for one of those stubborn red challenge runs, and you know what? That is way darker than I remember it being. It's like there's a difference if you're fighting and she gets killed off. Okay, they get it gets kind of dark, but there's specifically a minor change in a lot of dialogue where it is the one that actually does it. So in this case, in that particular run, I went and shield bashed her off a cliff, and yeah, like they put her way out of the way, so there's really no excuse for you to go out of your way to kill her off unless that's what you're going for. Yeah, dude, it is kind of dark. But yeah, after all of it, after getting admonished by lands and everything else, they're like, yeah, you basically just killed any hope of peace on the island. Good job, moron. And then he starts off with his usual, we didn't do it speech and whatever else, like, oh, wasn't me, you made it up and blah blah blah, and all justifying, and then shortly afterwards, they get back and he's just sitting there super depressed, like, yeah, no, this is definitely all me. He's like, no, but dude, seriously, you gotta get it together, we cannot be doing this right now. He's like, no, but it was totally me, though. It's like, yeah, look, we told everybody that it was them, so you better get on board with that. And he's literally just like sitting there, just blaming himself over and over and over because he totally was the guy that did it. And if you check the Warren report at that point, it does officially report that she was killed off by the Dark Knights at that point. But yeah, no, it's such a weird thing there, because he just completely has a meltdown, which all things considered, don't know if they're quite worth it, but hey, for some reason the writers thought a lot of people like Cashmore for some reason. We'll just add some reason as many times as possible to that particular sentence and call it good. Okay. I wonder if there's any potential way for us to pick up Swiftfoot over the course of this run. That'd be quite handy. And yeah, after this fight, I think that's when we get access to Heal 3. So we still have to set up a teleport somehow. In fact, later on down the line, I wonder how difficult it would be to set up a grind for teleport scrolls. Man, I love how it kind of glitched out the second we got touched by that dragon. Okay, it's actually 3 fights, not 2. Just noticed my mistake from earlier. Okay. So here's what do. He's gotta kind of bank off to the side a little bit. Good, Gildor's moving forward. There's potentially a shot within range. I just need to make sure that everybody else goes to the side. There's a 3-tile elevation here that's going for the treatise instead of the plume, because I don't believe they can actually use the plume there. We're gonna need 3 people doing heals. There are supposed 2 heals and 1 speed up. Yeah, this small heal's only being done because there's nothing better to do for her. Alright, now drag all the big guys off to the side here. Yeah, this party's gonna be beefed up as all hell by the time the next part rolls around, whenever that happens to be. Okay, good, good, good. Don't go for denim. Yeah, we should be absolutely clear to wrap it up here. Unless one of the golems moves into one very exact spot, we should be alright. Which, if we give him a back shot over here, that should sort that problem. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Wait, Brimstone? Almost. Dullbind. Dullbind would do it, but I don't know if it'll hit. Might hit the golem. Nope, we're good. Checkmate there. Dang straight you did. Alright. Wait, why 10? Oh, it's Zabos, then Slender. Dang it! No, we are not getting blue balled this close to the end. Come on now. Wait, that's not the one I went to. See, because I basically the... Oh yeah, I can't even... Screw it. The reason that I say that, because right now we're in a position where I can't, well, ideally I was hoping to be able to go steal a class mark off Necromancer's there, but right now I have a meeting in 30 minutes here. I suppose we could always consider Lenar a pretty foregone conclusion. I mean, by this point you pretty much get the idea. Alright, we're doing Spider Scrolls because there's really only a couple units that actually heal anything here. I don't believe Zabos ever comes with heal. Yeah, they've got crossbows, they don't have any direct archers. I guess all things considered, I could probably just leave the meeting on and walk away. I'll be honest, I'm not really motivated to go to those meetings right now. It's really irritating that I've been working a few months now for these, and I'm literally not even getting a paycheck this week. Last week it was like 20 bucks. It's like, I understand it's supposed to be commission based, but for commission based business, when all of the stuff that actually determines your commission is almost entirely out of your control, it is. Oh, it has been seriously pissing me off. I mean, it was more or less my dream job until I started seeing how the numbers were rolling in, and then it was like, yeah, this is just. I mean, I might as well. Let's all going virtual at this point, but it's just really annoying. Like, get this. So imagine you're doing a whole commission-based thing. You know, you're thinking everything's looking all right. Looking at the percentages on your commission, you should be making like 2,500 bucks that week. You know, it's looking all right. It's looking good. Then suddenly you realize, hey, of those commissions, like let's say you had 6 commissions coming in that week, right? I believe that was the most extreme one so far. And of those, you notice that one of them has been dropped down from 800 to 100. They don't tell you why. Then I mean I found out why, but I'm just saying, like, at the time they weren't saying why. Then for another one, you find out, okay, you know, it was supposed to be like a $1,000 commission. They just canceled that one. They don't really like. They just don't really like that customer in particular. They think there'll be a problem down the line, so they get rid of them. They've got another one that, which I guess these numbers aren't exactly lining up, but the general idea was that all of these were separate situations that occurred. To the point where all these numbers just keep changing over and over and over and over and over until finally there's just nothing really coming in. Hi there, Frozen Fury. How's it going? Nice to meet you. How's stuff? Oh, gotcha. And that I do. It's actually the same as my old YouTube one. Just Scarab V. But yeah, I don't really use it for much of anything. Like, literally, the thing just sits there and gets used for Netflix, and on rare occasions, I'll feel like it's a Fallout. That's about it. It's not even worth adding, man. I never play anything online on that thing. But yeah, we are on the second to last fight for today here. Because after this point, this is once again where everything just kind of gets unlocked and we can start doing some stuff. But yeah, no, openings for this have been pretty rare. We don't even have PS Plus anymore, so I'm not sure anything does. I'm not sure anything does even work on there right now. Like, I think War Thunder does. Thank you for the hosty dealy. By the way, is it coming out all like choppy and occasionally sounding like a coffee grinder on your end too? Or is that only on my end? So here's the deal. He has to eat this mollusk, he has to get close to Zabos, and then he has to hope he doesn't get blocked. Then we have to try and revive everybody, or at least revive as many as possible. And then as long as he's close by, or within a few miles to Zabos, this is a win. If not, then we've got a problem, and then we basically reset it, and then if it takes more than the next 20 minutes, then I'm just going to do it off screen, and then we're going to start off next one at the start of Chapter 4. Because, yeah, all the glitches and delays early ended up causing way more problems than I expected. Right, why are we all targeting Denim all of a sudden? That's weird. AI logic-wise, they should not be targeting him there, unless... Yeah, I guess they technically had no better shots. They probably just saw the opportunity for extra numbers. Let's move you over here. There we go. Come on. Alright, if we put a speed up on him, will that be enough? I don't know if it'll be enough to... Well, it doesn't matter anyway. I'm gonna put some units here. I'm hoping that this will potentially still leave all lanes open for him to run up and attack. Probably should have done this earlier. Come on, Zabos. Good, good, good. He's still in position. He's still in position. Alright. Should still be a one-shot. It almost is. Crap, they've got healers moving, though. That sucks. Is there anything else that might do better? 82. I mean, I really doubt there's anything that'll do better. How does Death Whale? Unless there's unless it rolls high and there's 2 instant poison procs. Not procs, but ticks. I mean, there's still a possibility here. Yeah, all it is this guy. That was weird. Alright, come on, give me something here. Okay, provided this misses to some degree, the one thing I'm hoping for is one of these 2 units gets a turn, and then hopefully Zabos doesn't, maybe? Yes, no? He's getting ticked down. Because what we should have done is put a breach on him, and that's what I forgot. Unless I'm out of breaches? I might not have picked up anymore. Alright, that'll do a breach. All things being ideal, that should be enough to end him. I mean, he can re-up poison. Just depends on who... Are you the next unit to move? Yeah. Okay, so then what makes sense is we go over here. Oh, hello, kiddo. What you doing? Goofing, apparently. So I believe Cerebro is the one with all the big brain happening. Oh, okay, that's not gonna do it. Okay, you got it, sir. 1 sec. Right, hang on just a sec here. Alright, there we go. Yeah, that's potentially a bad thing, because I think his strength might be running out this round. Probably should have just gone for Reap and Poison. There we go. There's Flame Fusion him. I really could have been using this more often. Wasn't even sure if I had one with me. Alright, come on. Please crit. Yes! There we go, checkmate. It's like, oh man, all this armor got killed off by a blow dart. Alright, good. That leaves one. And then we took his pants. We're the good guys. Oh wait, I guess they're... Oh right, we already did the Lennar fight. He's already dead. Sure, just kind of have him on the team for party reasons, or story reasons. I mean, most of these guys we need for Coda later. Oh, there we go. Somehow still not the end of Chapter... Yeah, Chapter 4 does not... Or Chapter 3 does not end. It's just a pain in the neck. And then, yeah, it's... Because, yeah, it always has to end at Rhyme, so... Then there's mountains, and then there's the town, and... Right, so right after we get Hubrim, that's when Chapter 4 ends. So, whatever. Anyway, we'll get to all of that next time, then. So, thank you guys for stopping by. That is that for now. I don't... As per usual, I don't know when the next opening's going to be to do another part, but, there we go. That's the end of Chapter 3. Only, once again, only 2 fights left for this one, because, you know, that just never ends. And, yeah. See you guys later. Take care. Stay